The law of the big picture, the story of Apollo 13. The goal is more important than the role. This truth became painfully clear in April 1970, when 3 astronauts on Apollo 13 faced death 200,000 miles from Earth. Survival demanded that egos vanish, roles blur, and every mind focus on one shared goal: bring them home alive. Apollo 13 launched from Kennedy Space Center on April 11, 1970, destined to be the 3rd mission to land on the Moon. A crew: Commander Jim Lovell, Command Module Pilot Jack Swigert, and Lunar Module Pilot Fred Haise. A goal: a moon landing and exploration, another step in America's space race triumph. But 2 days later, the mission's objective shattered in a single explosion. On April 13, at 9:08 p.m., an oxygen tank exploded. Warning lights filled the cockpit. Power dropped. The spacecraft shuddered. Astronaut Jack Swigert's calm but chilling voice echoed through history. "Houston, we've had a problem here." The lunar landing was instantly cancelled. The new mission was survival. Oxygen was leaking, power dwindling, and carbon dioxide rising. The astronauts and NASA's ground crew faced a terrifying truth: without teamwork, all 3 would die in space. The goal becomes clear. Back on Earth, mission control in Houston transformed overnight. Engineers, scientists, and technicians, some who had never spoken before, now sat shoulder to shoulder. The hierarchy flattened. The director wasn't just a director. He was a problem solver. The janitors brought coffee to keep engineers awake. Electrical engineers brainstormed life support hacks. Flight surgeons guided how to keep astronauts' bodies alive. Everyone asked only one question: what will get them home? The Moon no longer mattered. Titles no longer mattered. Survival was the big picture. Improvising a miracle. Apollo 13's lunar module, Aquarius, became a lifeboat. It was never designed for 3 men, but it kept them alive. The biggest threat: carbon dioxide poisoning. Their filters were failing, and replacements didn't fit. The shapes were different: square pegs and round holes. In a scene that has become legendary, engineers dumped boxes of random parts on a table: duct tape, plastic bags, hoses. They had to build a life-saving filter using only what the astronauts had on board. After hours of frantic testing, they succeeded. Instructions were radioed up. The astronauts assembled the device. It worked. That day, the goal was bigger than any role or ego. The world watches. Across Earth, millions watched. Families knelt in prayer, strangers lit candles, churches and temples overflowed. For a moment, the entire planet became one team, bound by the shared hope: bring them home. Lovell later said, "People everywhere wanted us to come back. That was the big picture. That was why we made it." Splashdown. After 4 excruciating days of uncertainty, Apollo 13 re-entered Earth's atmosphere. Silence filled mission control as the capsule disappeared in radio blackout. 3 minutes felt like an eternity. Then, parachutes appeared. The command module splashed safely into the Pacific Ocean. The room erupted in tears and cheers. The world exhaled. The lunar landing had been lost. But life had been saved. And in that, the law of the big picture proved unshakably true. Life lessons from Apollo 13. A goal's roles. The mission changed overnight, and everyone adapted. Ego would have killed them. Unity saved them. A flexibility is survival. Teams that cling to titles fail when conditions change. Teams that bend succeed. The big picture unites. Nations, religions, and strangers forgot differences to focus on one shared outcome. Implications. In business, a startup fails when individuals cling to titles instead of solving problems. Success comes when the mission drives decisions. In families, parents thrive not by arguing over roles, but by asking, what does the family need right now? In society, communities overcome crises not by guarding turf, but by rallying around survival, justice, or progress. Years later, Commander Jim Lovell reflected, "Apollo 13 was a failure that became a success. Because we learned the greatest truth of all: the big picture is always bigger than the role we play in it." And so, written in fire and ingenuity, Law 2 lives on. The goal is more important than the role.